Okay, so we're gonna look at splash damage in Metal Slug 3. So I have some zombies set up here. I'm using some dip switches. I'm using number 6, which is visible hitboxes, 7 is visible hurt boxes, and 8 is player invincibility, which is just to help with the setups. It's cheating, but it's for science. So we're gonna start by calculating how much HP these guys have. So the chick has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. Fat guy has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And the skinny guy has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so 11, 14, and 9. Switch to another safe state, but these are the exact same 3 zombies, so they have the same amount of health. And we're going to decompose a shot. So you can see here, this is the hitbox of the rocket. This is what will inflict direct damage. Direct damage can be inflicted to multiple enemies if they all come into contact within the same frame. That's pretty rare because the hitbox is pretty small. But also direct damage is inflicted to all types of enemies. Whereas the splash damage that we'll see in a second is only inflicted to enemies you can attack with your knife. So if you can't attack an enemy with your knife, it's immune to splash damage, which is generally mechanized enemies, robots, stuff like that you can't knife. Okay, so moving along, you can see here there's a big hitbox. This has to do with the rocket's homing ability. It's not important for us now, so just disregard it. Okay, so you can see that on this frame here, the rocket just came into contact with the zombie girl. Okay, and you can see this because here there's a little spatter of blood that just appeared. Okay, so this is the first frame of animation of the blood spatter. So it means that the zombie girl just started taking damage, and she took damage from the direct hit. Okay, and the fat guy did not take damage from the direct hit of the rocket. Okay, so moving along, next frame the rocket disappears. Next frame doesn't seem to be any hitboxes. And then here we have the first frame of splash damage. Okay, it's this hitbox here. Okay, so you can see that the fat guy just took damage from the splash damage, because here you can see the little spatter of blood. Okay, so that indicates that he just started taking damage. And also, of course, the chick just took damage. She's clearly inside the hitbox. Okay, so then next frame doesn't seem to be any hitbox. And now this frame is the second frame of splash damage. Okay, so it's this big hitbox here, right there. So again, the chick and the fat guy are inside it. The skinny guy is clearly outside. Okay. So then, next frame again doesn't seem to be any hitbox. And then this is the last frame of splash damage. Okay, you can see it's quite huge, but I am using the big rocket launcher in this video. Okay, so if you use the normal rocket launcher, hitboxes will be slightly smaller. But you can see that on this frame the skinny guy just took damage. Okay, here you can see the little spatter of blood, right, and he's clearly inside the hitbox. Okay, so on this frame they're all taking damage. Okay, so I've summarized this here. Okay, so you got the chick is taking the direct hit and all 3 frames of splash. The fat guy only takes the 3 frames of splash, and the skinny guy only takes the last frame of splash. Okay, after that there is no more splash. So we're going to calculate how much HP these guys have left. Okay, so I'm making sure I'm not hitting both of them. 1, 2, 3 for the chick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for the fat guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for the skinny guy. Okay. So again, I've summarized that here. You're writing this down for you. So the chick started with 11, ended up with 3, so she took a total of 8 damage. The fat guy started 14, ended up with 9, so he took 5, and the skinny guy started with 9, ended up with 8, so he took 1 damage. Okay, so we're gonna try to find just another setup to fill the gap here. Have someone take only the 2 last frames of damage. I've got that set up here. Unfortunately, I couldn't set up all of that in one go, but we got this stuff here. Okay, so first I'm gonna calculate how much HP this scientist has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, the chick is not important here. So he's got 8. So now I'm going to fire, and hopefully the scientist should only get hit by the 2 last frames of splash. Okay, so here the chick takes the direct hit. 3 frames later we have the first frame of splash. I don't think the scientist is getting hit here. I think there's a sizable gap. Then we have the second frame of splash. You can see here the little blood spatter indicating the scientist just started taking damage. Okay, and then we have the third frame of splash. Okay, so in this setup the scientist only took the last 2 frames of splash damage. Okay, and then further there are no more frames of splash. Okay, so now let's calculate how much HP he has left. Okay, so 1 knife, that's 3 HP. You can see the chick only had 3 HP left. Okay, so 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so he had 6 HP left. So he started with 8 and he ended up with 6, so he took 2 damage. Alright? So, summing all of this, we have this chart, right? So, chick took everything, which was 8 damage. The fat guy took all the splash, which was 5. The scientist took 2 splash, which was 2. And the last guy took 3 splash, which was 1. Okay, so now we'll do some quick math. So splash is 1. Okay, that's what it says here. Third frame of splash is 1 damage. So that's 1 damage, 1 damage, 1 damage. So evidently this is also 1 damage, okay, because 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. So that's 1 damage. Second frame of splash is 1 damage. So now the first frame of splash is 3 damage, okay, because 3 plus 1 is 5, okay. So that's 3 damage, and then we have that the direct hit is also 3, okay, because 3 plus 1 is 8, okay. So this is the summary for the rocket launcher. Even Theo got it. Direct hit 3, and then the splash as follows. So here I've marked the hitboxes. This is for the normal rocket launcher, so you can see it's just slightly smaller of a hitbox, especially on the last frame. Okay, so we have an initial hit of 3 damage, then 3 damage, then 1, then 1. Okay. So I've went ahead and done the same thing for the other weapons. So the Iron Lizard is almost the same as the rocket launcher. The only difference is that there's only 1 damage on the first frame of splash instead of 3, but otherwise it's the exact same pattern of 3 frames of splash Right, so 3 direct, 1 for a total of 6. Then we have the enemy chaser. Enemy chaser has 3 on the direct hit, and then 1 frame of splash that deals 1 damage. Then we have the drop shot, 3 on direct hit again, and then 1 big frame of splash, but that only deals 0.1 damage. Come on, like, drop shot, dude. But so the 0.1 splash is basically useless against all enemies because you would have to hit them 10 times for it to matter, like, except for the soldiers, because like the regular soldiers that are dressed in green, they only actually have 0.1 HP. They don't have 1 HP, they have 0.1 HP. So they would actually get killed by this splash damage. So then finally we have the super grenade. Super grenade has 1 huge frame of splash that happens on the same frame as the direct hit. It's not delayed like any other weapon, and it's for 5 damage, so it's pretty huge. And then we have the hand grenade. So the hand grenade has 2 frames of splash back to back, and they only deal 0.1 like the drop shot. But again, that 0.1 is enough to kill the soldiers. So for instance, this guy here, he's dead. Like on the next frame, he'll look like this guy. Okay, so that's it for the normal weapons. The vehicle cannons, missiles, air bombs, stuff like that also have splash. Maybe I'll get around to doing a video on that. But for now, this is what I got.